Patty FML here. You already know, Galaxy Girl, and we are here again with the Tapians. Baby, the wind is trying to kill me.
It's actually making you look like a goddess.
Oh, baby Mother Nature. It's a bad bitch. You already know.
What is going on, YouTube? It's your girl Easy Breezy, and I have a special treat for y'all today. I teamed up with CurlsQueen, and we're doing my very first taping tutorial ever.
But baby, not the devil's lair, bitch. I didn't want that. Like, I'm sorry.
And then I don't know when it started doing this in Georgia, but it'd be like last week, it was like 80 degrees at 9 o'clock at night.
Oh baby, no, that wasn't even the worst. I think it was Tuesday. It was like 93. And it was 10:30
in the morning.
At night it's 10:30 because I was like, I'm not coming outside till nighttime because it's too damn hot today. Bitch, I'm not coming outside at all. The fuck? It's still 93 degrees. There's no sun out.
Not even at 10 p.m.
There's no sun out. No sunlight, baby. What is you doing? Like,
Georgia doing something different.
I was like, we not Miami, my love. If you gonna do that, bitch, I need a beach and not Savannah.
I don't know if y'all live in Georgia or the surrounding states, but listen, these summers are getting hotter and hotter by the year. Okay, I don't know what the sun got going on, but it gotta chill. But anyway, we have 3 bundles of these 20-inch light yaki tape-ins from CurlsQueen. Now, this is the first time I'm ever working with CurlsQueen, so once again, thank you to that sponsor. Ow. And number 2, this is the first time I'm ever doing tape-ins on my channel. I'm so excited. Now, before I really get into this video and encourage you guys to try this style on yourself at home, I really want to make some disclaimers and really be real. Number 1, if you have natural 4C, 4B hair, I do not recommend tape-ins for you because I won't recommend a partial sew-in for you, okay? It takes a certain type of hair texture to really maintain this style, not pull it off aesthetically because, you know, when you first get your hair done, it's always going to be nice, but the maintenance is another story. Number 1, when you flat iron your hair and your hair stays straight for a really long time, whether your hair is naturally like that or you have to relax it or do some type of chemical process for it to do that, then that is the type of hair texture that is suitable for tape-ins because not only is your leave out, but your whole hair is kind of out. So in order for your hair to properly blend with your tape-ins, your hair needs to be straight or, you know, at least able to maintain the style for a long time. Number 2, your hair has to be full enough in order to cover the tape-ins. Now, as you get to the sides and get to the top, it's really easy for the tape-ins to be exposed. So you have to make sure that your hair is a density to where it doesn't show if you leave like your crown out. Last but not least, number 3, your hair cannot be cut so even to where you have a blunt haircut because it definitely will show in the hairstyle and you're going to see exactly where your hair ends and the extensions begin. So sometimes you kind of have to thin out your ends. I know some of y'all like, wait, what? Thin out my ends. But you can do it with a scissors or, you know, a pair of shears where it doesn't damage your ends or anything like that. But yeah, if your ends are too blunt, too thick, and too straight, it will show. So yes, all in all, if you are someone with a hair texture that can keep a silk press for a long time really easy and your hair doesn't really get damaged when you know, press it out and touch it up with the flat iron, then yes, this is for you. Also, if you have a hair density that is thick enough to cover the tape-ins, and if your hair can easily blend with the extensions, if it's long enough at the top, and if the ends are not too blunt, then I recommend this hairstyle. All right, so let's finally get into this tutorial and remind you guys, this is my first time doing this. I've watched so many videos and soaked up so much knowledge, but I can definitely see where I can get better in certain things. So as I go on with this video, I'm going to explain what I did and in some, areas explain what I should have done or what I could have done better so you don't make the same mistakes at home. All right, this is the very first tape-in, all right? All the tape-ins have a sticky side where one goes on the bottom of the hair, one goes at the top so they can sandwich each other and be nice and secure at the root of the hair. Now, normally, you know, if you're doing like a partial sewing, you would leave out the top and leave out the sides. So that's the same technique that I'm using today, except for the fact that I want her hair to completely blend with each other. You know, her natural hair is not as long as the extensions, and I don't want it to be like a point where you can clearly see the difference. So I'm going to put these tracks closer to her hairline and not so far back, and disregard that whole ponytail thing because that's not our main goal today. But let's say, for instance, your goal was to put your hair up in a ponytail, then the perimeter that I leave out on the edges will be a whole lot thicker. Now, you will leave at least 2 inches on the entire perimeter. Like, I have 2 inches left out in the back right now, but it's only like an inch or half an inch on the sides. You know, normally if you want a ponytail, you have to leave a lot more hair out. So just keep that in mind. So let's say, you know, you want the best of both worlds and you want to be able to put your hair up in high ponytails. So you're definitely going to have to leave a lot of edges out, at least 2 inches all the way around. And when you put your hair down, you want it to blend too, right? Realistically, your hair does have to be long enough for that to, you know, look right. And even if it doesn't, you can take some shears and cut some layers in the extensions. All right, so right now I am on my maybe 3rd or 4th row, and I'm trying to put the tape-ins like far away from the scalp enough. For some reason, it's been a little bit hard to avoid that, like not putting the track up on the scalp. But I know you're not supposed to do that because it limits the mobility of the track and it makes it harder to pull up and it tugs at the scalp. So no, your track is not supposed to be laying directly on the scalp. It's supposed to be like a couple millimeters away. I feel like if I had a tool for this that was, you know, made for this would be a whole lot easier. But right now I'm kind of like freestyling it with my hand and it's a little bit uncomfortable, but I am getting the job done. All right, so when it comes to the placements of the tape-ins, we have to take into consideration that these are pieces of hair, not long, consistent tracks. So in order for the hair to be, you know, evenly distributed, we have to do a brick lay. So when you're at home doing this on yourself or you're doing it on someone else, just take into consideration that it's not good to have straight up and down columns. And also, when I'm placing the tape-ins in her hair, I'm leaving a little piece of hair in between each tape-in. And that is strictly for mobility. You know, you want to be able to move the tracks up and down, you know, in ponytails and stuff like that. And you want your hair to breathe. So yes, it is a little bit of hair in between each little tape-in. All right, so in this video, I'm trying multiple different techniques on how to lay these tape-ins. I've tried maybe 3 different techniques already. So if you see me keep on, you know, changing up my style, just understand that I'm just trying to see what's most comfortable for me. All right, so we are officially at the very first edge, okay? So as you can see, I have a good maybe like 1.5 inches of her edges out so I can make sure that her hair can properly cover the tape-ins. And I'm not putting it too close because, you know, once these tape-ins are in, you know, I can only imagine how difficult it is to get out without any oil. So I'm being very careful when it comes to my placements. Now, on the contrary, if my model told me that a ponytail was her #1 priority, then I would have put these tracks back even further. Like, I would have left a solid 2 inches of, you know, leave out all the way around. So, you know, this varies from person to person. It varies from how thick or thin their edges are. Your hair can be super long, but your edges can be really, really thin. So the tracks might have to go back like 2.5 inches. You'll never know. So, you know, just be conscious of the density of your hair, the density of your edges, how long your hair is, and all that plays a factor. So as far as the placements of the tracks and, you know, how I'm placing them on the hair, I realized after I was done that the easiest technique for me and the most reliable and consistent was me placing the tape-in on the bottom of the hair first, sticking the hair to the glue, and then putting the top one on second. Because when I put the tape on top of the hair first and then the bottom second, it tends to just end up closer to the scalp, like inevitably. So yes, try the bottom first and then the top second. All right, you guys, so we are closer and closer to the top, and I want to talk about the hair in between the tape-ins. So I guess I thought that, like, in my mind that more of her natural hair was going to be in between each row, but there's only like 1/2 inch of her natural hair in between each row of tape-ins. So it's a lot more tape-ins in one area than I anticipated, but it's fine because everything is still flat and, you know, looks normal. But yeah, it's just more than I thought, I guess. And I realized that we couldn't even get through the whole 3 bundles. Like, by the end of this video, we only had enough room to put in like 2.5. So yeah, it's a lot of tape-ins. So when you're at home, you know, don't be afraid to like use a lot of them, and don't leave a lot of room in between your hair and the tape-in rows, because I mean, you're going to end up using a lot of it. And the more you use, the more it blends out with your natural hair in between them. Because, you know, if I didn't, you know, put so many in the back of her head, it might have looked a little skimpy and weird. All right, so here you can see that I'm using the technique that I feel like was most reliable, and that is placing the tape in underneath the hair first and then the second one on top. So honestly, in my opinion, not only is this way the best technique and the most reliable and safest for the roots of the hair, but it's also making this process go by a lot faster. All right, y'all, so we are getting closer and closer to the crown and the edges, and I want to remind you guys that if I can turn back time, then I would have been testing the visibility of the track before I actually laid it. Because even though right here, you know, it looks like the track is at a nice, you know, safe spot where it won't be seen, it was actually surprising me how easy it was for even these tracks to be like noticeable. So I would have like tested it on the hair a little bit, kind of moved the hair with my fingers just to, you know, see what it would be like before I actually like glued it to her hair. But it's okay because they weren't showing that bad. But in the future, I guess I'll just remind you guys just to test it on the edges. And not only test the edges, but test the leave out too. You know, just place one of the tape ins underneath where you have your leave out, lay the hair over it, you know, comb it over and see if it actually like covers it easily. All right, so most of the tape-ins are in, and right now I'm doing a cover test to make sure that her natural hair can easily cover the tape-ins. All right, y'all, this is the bone straight test. Okay, we are seeing if her natural hair can actually blend with the extensions without it being excessively curled. Okay, this is the real test. If your natural hair is easily blending with the tape-ins without it being curled, then you laid them correctly. All right, so everything looks amazing. I'm not adding any more tape-ins for right now because, I mean, we're good, okay? So I'm taking my shears and cutting some layers only in the front. She wanted layers all the way around, but I refused because her natural hair is mixed in with it. She was like, girl, I don't care. I'm like, I do. So we're just gonna do some layers in the front so she can have some movement when we put some body curls in it. All right, you guys, so I have my 1.5 inch barrel curlers. I think these are by Andis, and I'm gonna just do maybe like 10 curls in her whole head, or probably even less than that, just so we can have some movement. I'm not trying to get like the curly look, just some body. All right, so everything is curled and now we just have the leave out left. So I'm gonna just do maybe 3 big curls on the top and not do any specific part. Oh my gosh! Okay, we are finally done with all the tape-ins and the curls. Now I'm dropping the pin curls and let's see what we really got here. And I mean, it's looking natural already, so I have no doubt in my mind we're gonna get the look we desired. Oh snap.
Period. Period, poo.
Oh snap.
Like, and
Yeah.
body.
Yeah, those curls, yeah.
Yeah. You did it. You did it. It's everything. It is giving. Oh my god. Yes. Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, baby. What?
All right, you guys. So this is the final result and everything came out beautiful, flawless, natural, all of that, okay? Once again, thank you so much, CurlsQueen, for sponsoring this video with these 3 bundles of 20-inch light yaki tape-ins. I had so much fun and I want to do this more often. So if you guys want these exact extensions, I'm going to put all the information in the description below. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, make sure you go ahead and do that. Turn on your notifications and I'll see y'all later.